Hello guys, this is a small little video. If you're wondering how to replace your alternator on a Ford F-150 2006, I will show you real quick. I already got the old alternator out. I will explain the process as I'm putting this one in. It's very simple, very easy. All you got to do is take off your air suctions, your filters, and take off your battery, and that's it. So I'm going to try to talk to you guys backwards on what to do compared to what I just did. First things first, the alternator it will be located underneath your air filter, right in front of your throttle body. So that's your main alternator. And the first thing you're going to do is take off your filters. The tools that you will be needing will be just a 10mm socket, pretty much, and disconnect your battery for safety purposes. And if you have a wrench that can go in your pulley right here, then you can use that. What I did, I just used my strength and pull the belt up and out. So I'm about to put the alternator new one. The alternator has two bolts in the bottom. One's right here, the other one's right here. You don't need to take them off completely. The alternator sits on top of there. The alternator has a spot right here and right here where it sits on those two screws. So you have to do just put the alternator in right there. So I'm doing this one-handed, so if I can try to record. So you see where the bolt is right there? All I'm trying to do is set it there and the other side as well. They're both sitting there. That's all it does. That's all you got to do, set it on those two bolts and tighten them back up. Alternator, it's already tightened up with those screws in the bottom. All you got to do is connect your harness. Now your harness has this little bar. A lot of people like to take completely off and disconnect it from here. You really don't have to. I can show you that here in a little bit, but the first thing you're gonna do is connect this. Goes right in the side right there on this part right there, and then you got your little washer that goes inside right there. Harness already installed. I already put the 10 bolt here, and the harness is there. Now this is the bracket that a lot of people like to take off completely. You really don't have to. It should be held by four 10mm. Mine has a 10 and a 8, 2 8s on this side, 2 10s on this side. So if they're not 10s, then just match the size, but they should be by factory by 10. Now the way how I did it is, once I removed the bolts, all four of them, all I did is moved it from here, from this angle right here, picked up this side and just move it, picked up the other side right there and just move it to the side, like this, like so. Obviously after disconnecting this one right here, I left this one right there because it's more difficult. I didn't want to break it, so I left it there. I just disconnected this one and then I moved it to the side, and it gave me good clearance on taking the alternator. But in this case I have to put it back in, so I'm going to go ahead and put all four bolts back inside their corresponding areas. I put the bracket back in, the harness is back in, everything in there on the alternator aspect is done. All I got left to do now is to put the belt. It's very important for you guys to remember how your belt went before you take it off. Don't just take it off without not knowing which way the belt goes. Mine does not have it. It's already raced out, but normally they have it right here, the way of the direction that the belt should be lined up. So what I did, I took it off and I just placed it on top of the big pulley right there carefully, without making sure that everything came off. So everything's fine. All I gotta do is muscle my way from picking up the belt and putting it on top of this. I don't have this wrench to move the pulley, so this might take me a little bit. So I'll get back with you guys once this is done. I put the belt back on top, so the belt needs to go around the pulley like that right here. Now to be able to push this down, I use my hammer. What I did, I put it right here in front of the pulley right there, on this little metal part, and I push as hard as I can down to move the pulley down to loosen up the belt. And then I used strength to just kind of push it in there. It wasn't too hard. With this by hand, you are able to pull it up, but it's more difficult. So all I did is do that. Next step is to put back the throttle body. Once your belt is installed, will be to put back your intake system. There's your throttle bottle right there. So the tube part, obviously the section tube goes on top of that, and it comes with 4 screws. These are the screws that comes with. You're gonna have to use a deep socket, a 10 deep socket, to be able to put them back in there. So you put the air intake in first, make sure it's lined up with everything else, and it's in there. I will do that in a second. And then you put your screws there, and then you tighten them up. Air intake installed with your 4 bolts inside. You got to get your tube. There's a hole on the side. That's where your end of your tube goes in. You put that in there, and then you have this oval section. So you put your tube like so. Make sure it just goes inside the hole right there, and then all you gotta do is just put it in there. Now there is a screw that goes in right here. So all you gotta do is make sure you lined it up, and then that screw is a 10 millimeter screw. Tighten it up, and then your last step will be putting your battery in as well, and you're good to go. So that's how you replace an alternator. Batteries installed, everything installed. That's how you change an alternator. Now if you were doing it from start from here, the way how you do it, you disconnect your battery first. That will be your first step. Second step will be taking off your tube by taking off the bolt right here. That's a 10 millimeter. And then your third step will be taking off your throttle body intake, which is 4 10 millimeters screws, 2 on each side. Once that's off, your next step will be to take off your bracket right here. You take your bracket off, your 4 screws, remove your bracket out of the way. Then your 5th step will be taking off your harness. 6th step, removing your belt. 7th step is loosening up your bolts, and then just redoing everything backwards, just like I did, to install your new one, replace your alternator. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye.